Gil. This is Burkland Gardens. Dave Helms stopped by, and he said, did a lot of grafting the last couple of years, and he's got these true cedars like Cedar deodora, cedar of Lebanon, libani cedars, and so these are recent grafts and really unusual ones. So we're just going to do a little bit of a introduction of what we've got here, and Dave will do most explanations on what he has. So a lot of these grafts still have their understock on them, so you're looking at that, but we'll, you ready to start clipping off? So we'll probably, even as we're talking about, we'll be taking off some of the understock, so you'll be able to see how that's done. So what's the first one, cedar, that we want to talk about here, Dave?
Well, of course, everybody loves green prints and that. And of course, this is a 3-year-old graft, and very slow, and but a very beautiful plant and excellent for bonsai.
That one grows about a ½ inch a year, and of course
But it's a really good one, old traditional, came from Wells Nursery originally, probably.
Wells Nursery right up here in Mount Vernon.
Neil Hall found it, so it's a local plant.
Yeah.
Well, it actually came from Oregon.
Yeah, but he brought it to the trade. That happens quite often where, the person discovered the plant isn't the one that brings it to the trade, and they get to name it and all that.
I mean, these brooms come from all over the place, and that.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the best of all. What's the next one we're going to talk about?
Well, I love the Hortsman. It's an Atlas broom, and then of course you can take the understock off. Do not cut the graft off. I sold about 50 pieces to a guy one time. He calls me up and he says, I need to reorder. And I go, for why? And he says, I cut all the grafts off, so I need to start over. And I'm like, you need to quit. And that's...
So this one could probably be staked. It wants to be an upright, right?
Yeah. It's the same as that one you have.
Yeah, so we have a big
there.
one. We'll try to get that in the video. Color's unbelievable on those. So
this was found in Oregon. It's called Schoolhouse 91. I don't know a lot about it, but what I had, it's very vigorous, and I like it a lot. The color and shape. Once again, you can probably get some nice serpentine in it or movement in it for bonsai or what have you.
Does this one want to stay low?
It seems to be kind of cascading down and stuff a little bit. And there's a lot of similar ones, like Mountain Beauty. I love Mountain Beauty. My original one just kind of cascades down over the rockery and that. And it's a mounder too, so similar, I would think.
Mountain Beauty, is it? Does it turn? Is it blue or is it more green?
It gets more bluish.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. It seems to be green. Probably my environment down there. I got it kind of growing semi-shaded and stuff like that. So where the graft union is, as you can see, and then I always, after it's stabilized in the pot, I still leave a little bit of understock on. But now that it's stable, obviously, more energy going into the plant and that, so you cut it off at the graft union.
What did you use for understock on these?
It's Cedrus deodora, which is a shortage now, and so it's...
hard to find, huh?
Yeah, hard to find. Hopefully, I studied the ones in Seattle, and I didn't see a lot of cones. So I don't know if we're going to go another cycle of no seeds.
Well, that's the problem, is that they're just not producing enough cones, enough seeds.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know Brooks imports a lot from, I don't know, Lebanon. Or
yeah.
So,
So and Brooks is a big, it grows millions of seedlings for the trade. And
another one called Scott's. This is a multi-graft. Kind of make an interesting little terracotta pot type thing.
So it's got grafts on 3 different branches here. And So this one, the understock has been cut off of here, but this is all understock or the plant here, and then the grafts up here. So you've gotten, 3 grafts on one tree.
Yeah. So maybe later a bonsai guy will wire it to kind of get some movement in it or something. It's fun. I like to do that. Late at night you get bored with graft after graft after graft, so you kind of do some monster grafting and stuff like that.
Do you know the growth habit of Scott?
It's very slow. My original stock plant is very small.
Upright?
No, moundy.
Both kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is an introduction with Isley called the Green Wave, which is a gorgeous flat, looks like grows kind of like a...
What do you think the growth rate is on that?
Yeah, it's pretty good growth rate. I mean, it's definitely going to be your medium grower type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Green Wave and Home Park.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm familiar with Home Park, yeah.
And they're both kind of flat. My Home Park, I've been staking up to get them up a little bit higher, and then I'll let them mushroom out a little bit like that. Oh, there's a Home Park right there.
We're talking about that's 2 similar growing plants, right? Yeah.
So these here, even if you're old, you don't have to wait around till forever. These will really start kicking and just really develop an interesting inner structure. You can prune out and stuff like that.
Well, here.
Yeah, so Larry Stanley introduced this from Australia. I thought it was a hedgehog, and the hedgehog is bluer, and this one's a little bit greener, catering. But hedgehog is my fun one. I actually graft quite a bit of those.
Very similar. I like hedgehog myself too.
And
better.
it's just flat as a pancake and that, and it's one of those wait 15 years before you even get, the thrill.
We have one that you grafted years ago in the front yard, so we'll try to get a more mature specimen of that on camera.
So really rare one is St. Catherine's. This plant here was designed to break your heart. Once again, it's a broom from I think Australia, and it's an atlas. So
I think it's a true miniature. You think?
Very miniature, and it's really controlled by water, by air, by sunlight. It is a plant that can look like this one day, and the next day all the needles are laying on there. But it's worth messing with if you're going to do serpentine type.
They like good drainage, right? Yeah.
And grab
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these 2 are the similar ones, Uve. I always, no matter what, leave understock on them. And even if you put it in the ground, myself, I would leave the understock on it.
You think for a very long time, you think?
Well, I would say a few years,
almost permanently,
maybe.
yeah.
Sometimes I do. I just like A.B. Duvons. I leave a little bit of twiggy understock.
You're still pulling energy up through the
understock,
under the higher part of the understock.
And I might even just go like that, and I got a little growth there.
A little bud right there.
Yeah. So I kind of.
This could come off later to grow out, and then you cut it back.
Or just plant it like this, or put it in a pot. They tend to like pots. A lot of mine I move in. I have stock plants. I move them in poly. I control the water and all that.
Kind of a greenhouse environment.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't want to fuss with that, but you put them in a terracotta, move them in, move them out on your patio. They're patio pets, really.
Yeah.
And that one there is Kinwit. It's a cool little guy. It's probably one of the slower growing ones. The only other one I graft that's maybe even slower is Blue Ball, which is a Cedrus, Deodora. and it'll look same growth habit but bluer, and I mean
That gives you that natural bonsai look, and
oh
as
yeah,
as they age, but you have to wait.
yeah,
Oh well. Sapphire nymph.
yeah. So sapphires gives you a lot of happiness, and you can grow it flat. I've seen it grow, hug rocks from flat. I've seen mine actually is 6 foot by 6 foot,
Hmm.
and when people walk in the yard, it's like, look at me now, I'm here.
Catches their eye, huh?
Yeah, and it's gorgeous, and we can take the understock off that one now too.
You just let it do what it wants to do.
Yeah,
How do you do any?
eventually the ones that I got at home I've staked.
Take a look.
Same thing. I want to get some height. Yeah, little Linda. This is a new introduction.
That's nice.
Yeah, this was off of a Cedrus Atlantica, found at Countryside, and it's awesome to see. I don't know if they put it online, but to see the weeping atlas with the broom hanging off of it. So it's relatively new. So, but I love it, and I've had pretty good luck with it. But once again, might be a little bit water sensitive type.
Good drainage, and probably another good reason to bring them in wintertime is just the cold, because they're a little more sensitive to the cold at times too.
In pots they would be.
Right.
You know, and that. Well, this is a new one. It's not out yet. It's a broom off of a kind of a golden deodora. My friend John found it. He named it Anniversary Broom. So we're just kind of evaluating. It kind of grows like fireworks water fountain, kind of sparse and that. It hasn't really got gold. Like I said, I got the broom cut this year. And
so evaluation on a tree like
right,
this, probably what, 7 to 10 years before you even bring it to the trade, or before you want to sell it. You can enjoy it yourself.
Yeah, and then he kind of found another similar one. So I don't know if it's going to be the same, a golden one there. Yeah, Deodora.
So we got somebody else who wants some attention here.
So he actually found one on an atlas, and that's the one I'm getting excited about for next year. And that definitely was a nice broom. She needs a French fry. So anyway, yeah, and I just want to put a heads out for the Conifer Society. They're very supportive, and we just got done with our little 3-day tour, joined up with the Maple Geeks and that, and so it was a wonderful tour of nurseries and private gardens and that. So you should think about joining if you can.
Yeah. So just kind of like anything else, just start somewhere and get yourself a conifer. You can find these at your local nurseries. You won't find these rare things. Highly unlikely you'd ever find one there, but it's always possible. Places like Conifer Kingdom. We talked about Sam. You talked about Sam. Probably the largest mail order conifer and maple and other unusual plants, but mainly conifers. Dave's been grafting for how many years, you think? Over 40?
Yeah, probably.
You want to admit that?
I'm only 45.
Yeah, okay, well.
So, but throw out to Sam, too. He donated for the Doug Wilson Memorial. They donated a bunch of plants, beautiful table toppers, and we all got to take one home.
Doug Wilson he was a volunteer, and he oversaw the Oregon Garden, which is the state garden down there in Silverton, Oregon. And that's where Conifer Kingdom is located as well.
Yeah,
and
definitely a go-to place.
Yeah, so, well, we just wanted to bring this as a point of interest on dwarf and unusual conifers. Like I said, do you want to get started, or if these plants aren't quite available yet, but we'll let you know if and when that happens and how they would be available. So I just want to thank you for joining us, and hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.